What I
Mario
call them.
Brothers or something. One of the little Mario kid characters.
You try to call him Waluigi or something? Hold on.
Yeah, is it the red one or the green one?
He doesn't look Italian.
Wait. The red or the green
All right,
one?
wait.
Mario and Luigi.
Joe Mazzulla, is he in over his head?
Coach, we need a coach. Get
ESPN
back
Radio.
here.
O'Reilly. Make your tires shine with Superior Coverall Tire Shine at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people can help you choose the right cleaning supplies for your vehicle. Finish any great detail job with Superior Coverall Tire Shine. Right now, get 2 bottles for just $18. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model ATV, or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC, and you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on the Zone.
As sure as Texas weather will change, storm chasers will roll into town when the Brazos Valley experiences a hail or severe storm, bringing out-of-town crews with them. Don't get hit twice. Aggieland Roofing is a local, licensed, and insured company, one that will be here to handle any warranty issues, one that is part of your community. We live here, and we are here to stay. Aggieland Roofing is a member of the BCS Chamber of Commerce and the official roofer of Texas A&M Athletics. Remember, shop local, shop licensed. Call me, the Roofer Girl.
Texas is in a long-term drought, and Hargrove Crop and Ranch Insurance Agency is here to help Texas farmers and ranchers. Currently and actively involved in the farming and ranching industry, the agency started in 1983, is an Aggie and family-owned and operated agency aware of your needs. They're a statewide multi-peril crop and rangeland insurance agency providing coverage against drought on crops and rangeland. To find out more and check insurance deadlines, visit hargroveinsurance.com. That's the Hargrove Crop and Ranch Agency.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Cherry Rafino with Coldwell Banker Apex Realty, and Park at Tradition's Exceptional Senior Living. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Texas Document Solutions.
It happens a lot. Local businesses getting fed up with their current document imaging vendor and switching to sharp copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. Nathan Kerr, owner, president of Kerr Surveying, had enough with his previous vendor.
We just had so many breakdowns. They were not very helpful. It really slowed us down.
Well, Nathan, the obvious question is, how are things now with Sharp from Texas Document Solutions?
I have zero problems with Texas Document Solutions. Everything has always gone right.
Texas Document Solutions. Better technology, better pricing, better customer care.
They've taken care of us for 4 years. Texas Document Solutions is 100% reliable, and the equipment's great.
If you're getting less than 100% from your document imaging vendor, switch to Sharp Copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. It's easy to do. Just call 979-775-5500.
Texas Document Solutions.
979-775-5500.
Aggieland, this is your home for Texas A&M baseball. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You're listening to KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. More than 2 years since Winter Storm Uri froze water lines that broke in the city of Bryan's Phillips Event Center, the $8 million restoration project continues. The latest hurdle is replacing the roof so it can handle new air conditioning equipment. The Bryan City Council at its meeting unanimously approved without discussion a $105,000 change order. Financing more than $37 million of Brazos County roads and building projects was approved yesterday by county commissioners. Financial advisor Dennis Whaley said borrowing the money at 3.5% interest was the result of an improved bond rating.
Strong management with good financial policies and practices, and consistently positive operating performance.
More than $9 million in certificates of obligation will finance renovations at the courthouse, the county administration building, the former Bryan ISD administration building, and the county's 911 and emergency operations center. Almost $28 million in bonds will pay for road and bridge improvements. Members of the Texas House Higher Education Committee were told this week about the negative impact of a Senate bill that would eliminate tenure for professors at public universities. Texas A&M professor Trevor Hale is also president of the Texas Council of Faculty Senates.
We cannot hire rock star faculty at Texas A&M right now. People are turning us down.
After more than 3 hours of testimony, SB 18 was left pending in the House committee. For the 21st time, the Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce has a local delegation visiting federal officials in Washington, D.C.
We have really a great reputation in that. The Texas Association of Business calls us one of the top 3 chambers in the state on legislative affairs.
Chamber Community Liaison Royce Hickman, who started the trips when he was the organization's president, thanked Congressman Michael McCall for lining up visits at the U.S. Capitol. Hickman says the chamber's legislative package includes economic development, fiscal responsibility, health care, education, and transportation issues specific to the Brazos Valley. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Since 1957, Slovacek Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacek is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacek. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacek Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
If you own construction equipment, mark your calendars for WPI's open house, Friday, May 19th. This is Timothy Kornrup, your new local branch manager at WPI, and I'd like to meet you in person. Stop by and register for your chance to win Astros tickets, tumblers, coolers, caps, t-shirts, WPI swag, and much more. Rudy's Barbecue is on us, and we'll start serving lunch at 11 a.m. So come early, stay late, and register to win our amazing raffle prizes. It's WPI's open house, Friday, May 19th, Highway 21 East at Marina Road. I look forward to seeing you all there.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Aggie baseball put up 11 runs in 7 innings last night to run-roll UT Rio Grande Valley at Bluebell Park. The team had 9 stolen bases, the most in a single game since 2006. Justin Lampkin got the victory, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 7 with no walks in 5 1/3 innings. The win was the first by an Aggie starting pitcher since March 11th, snapping the 33-game streak. The guys return to SEC play this weekend with a 3-game series against Alabama at Olsen Field. Game 1 is scheduled for Friday night at 6 o'clock. The number 23 A&M softball team is scheduled to open SEC tournament play against South Carolina today at 1 p.m. in Fayetteville. The Aggies' regular season matchup with South Carolina didn't go as planned as the Gamecocks swept the Aggies. You can listen to the game today at 1 o'clock on Gospel 97.3. The number 1 seeded A&M women's golf team shot 11 under in the final 5 holes of the second round and has the lead in the NCAA San Antonio Regional. The final round will begin this morning for the Aggies at 9:06. Aggie tennis had Mary Stoyana and Kenner Taylor earn spots in the 2023 Division I Academic All-District team. The Aggie women return to the Mitchell Tennis Center Friday for the NCAA Tournament Round of 16, where they will host the number 15 seed Tennessee with first serve set for 2 p.m. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett. On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author John Feinstein about David Farady's addictive nature.
And he will go there and just shoot at targets, sometimes with friends, sometimes alone, to take care of whatever cravings he has for alcohol. And they're still there. He says, his line is that every day in his life is white knuckle trying not to drink again.
Sports Talk, exposing tears behind the laughter. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
If I'm going to do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
And now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bull crap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, records on my demo.
So, Obie, I'm going to ask you to start off the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse of CC Creations. What do you think I want to start off with when in terms of Aggie baseball? Is it the run rule? You think that's where I want to go?
No, I think you want to go with another good pitching performance.
Buddy, you and I on the same page. Yeah, Justin Lampkin, once again, two straight starts where he's been really, really good. Yesterday, 5 innings pitched, 5.1, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 2 hits. I wanted to showcase what he's done in his last 2 starts, okay? Because I for so long, we've talked about this pitching staff, especially the starters, struggling as much as they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't make light of really good performances, then we're not doing our job here. 2 starts, 10.1 innings pitched. He's given up 3 runs in those 2 starts, all versus Tarleton, by the way. And in those 2 games combined, 16 strikeouts, 3 hits.
How many walks?
I'll have to look that up.
I know he had none last night.
Right.
And what a great place to start with this team, right?
Yep.
Because if you're not giving up walks, then that's been the Achilles heel.
Well, I am now
staff.
On his page. I'm trying to see based on balls, which I don't know why it's not. Oh, there it is. He had 2 against Tarleton, 0 yesterday. So,
Okay.
Again, the
2
free
walks in
bases.
2 games.
Yeah.
That right there is something to celebrate. And I don't think it's well, they're obviously intertwined, the low number of walks and the low number of runs.
Well, this is the first win for an Aggie starting pitcher since March, early March. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
That's amazing.
I look at these midweek games as, not always, but at least at the current moment, my feeling is I look at these midweek games as a sign of things to come. Because when they didn't look good, they didn't play well. Now, I know that hasn't been that way all season long, but now you're getting consecutive good starts. You've had a good weekend against Florida of starting pitching. You have another Tuesday game. That's 2 Tuesday games in a row, trending in the right direction.
Without a doubt, trending in the right direction. And let's just hope they can keep it going on. And, we're not expecting to go out and throw, allow just 1 run, especially against SEC teams.
Right.
But keep it manageable, and your offense has a chance to win games for you. And the way you keep it manageable, first of all, is not give away free bases.
Do not give away free bases. Look, the defense on this team is pretty good.
Yeah.
We know the offense can mash. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself, and you're going to win a lot more of these games than you're not going to reach, from an SEC standing standpoint, you're not going to reach what I think all of us were kind of envisioning back early on, but you might not be that far off. Because a lot of people had LSU number 1 no matter what, right? And right now they're in a dogfight with Arkansas. But you can finish the season strong, and can you get back into the hosting a regional conversation? Probably too early to say that, but if you have another good weekend against Alabama, you start feeling really good about yourself.
Here's what I think of that, and I'm no expert. Broniger and your baseball bunch would know a whole lot more than me, but just as a complete outsider, I would say you'd need to, at the very least, win your last 2 series.
Mm-hmm.
and then have a successful run. I'm not saying win the SEC tournament, but having a successful run to be able to get back into the host conversation.
So let's talk about that. You're right now 11-13. You absolutely have to be 500. If you win these next 2 series, you're going to be a 15-15 team, right?
Mm-hmm.
At very
worst,
minimum.
if you
right?
win the series,
right? But what if you sweep one and win the other series? Now you're a 16-win team
in a really, really treacherous baseball conference.
So look, we can be doom and gloom. We can also be happy and excited, and at least it gives us something. You have Alabama coming in, who had an amazing weekend.
No, they've been hot.
They have been hot. You've got Mississippi State after that on the road, but a team that is struggling. They're in the cellar of the SEC West. So you have opportunities to, put some distance with the other teams that are right there at the 11-13 mark, which is Auburn as well. And you have a chance to move up those standings. Are you going to catch LSU or Arkansas? No. Not likely. But you can make some damage in the SEC overall.
Well, the whole idea is to get yourself in the postseason.
Yep.
And then and then B, the best case scenario in the postseason. And you mentioned, can they possibly get back in the hosting conversation? That's that would seem to be difficult.
They're a week away from that conversation.
Yeah, but not out of the question, I would think.
Not out of the question. But if you have a great weekend, then you start seeing a path to maybe. And again, it's a path to maybe.
Right.
You've hurt yourself.
I'm not saying that if they do this, they will.
No.
Saying maybe they get into the conversation.
Just the conversation. You know.
You know what Schlossnagle's telling
them? Focus on one game at a time.
Yeah. We'll win the first game against Alabama.
Then we'll worry about the second game. And then we'll worry about the third.
But we're going to say, hey, you win these next 2 series and make it to the semifinals at least.
2 different audiences, though, right? Like if the Aggie baseball team is sitting here listening to us this morning, hey, good morning, guys. I'm sure they sample a lot of the content out there. But this is really just kind of looking at, and there's also a negative path too, right? You lose these next 2 series, you're in a completely different conversation now. Now you're thinking, are you in the NCAA tournament? I think they're in. You're thinking to yourself, what kind of seed are you getting, or are you even in? So, but to me, I'm basing on what we've seen over the last week. And just like last week, a week ago today, we were kind of in misery. Or maybe not a week ago today, but about 9 days ago.
Yeah, there was some concern.
Now you are feeling much better.
And why wouldn't you be after winning a series over Florida?
You should.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the name of this show? I didn't even tell the people. I forgot.
Well, this is TexAgs Radio, the Go Hour.
Whew. That's presented by...
There's so many sponsors.
But the Go Hour is definitely somebody you know.
CC Creations.
Yeah, CC Creations. This show is TexAgs Radio. Our presenting sponsor is Carry the 2, -4, David Gardner's Jewelers.
David Gardner's forever.
And we're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Yeah,
I bet you don't know the phone number of Rollo Insurance. I
don't.
Yeah, 888-44-ROLLO. Let me look. Yep, I'm right. 888-44-ROLLO.
44-ROLLO.
Yeah, easy to remember.
It really is.
So easy.
Take your 888 and then, and then you
cut it in half?
Cut it in half.
And take away a number?
Double 4 and then Rollo.
Easy.
888-44-ROLLO.
Yeah. God, thanks for making it so easy.
888 John David Crow, Rollo.
I like the way you operate there. Let's.
It's funny. I don't know if you, as a kid, that's how I would remember phone numbers and whatever I could by jersey numbers.
I bet you can remember like your phone number from. Like, let me ask you a question. I'm not asking you to say the number out loud, but do you know Quinn's number by heart?
I don't know it at all.
You just do Quinn.
Yeah.
Right. Same. But do you remember your house phone number when you were a child?
Yes, because my mother, I'm sure your mothers and everybody else's mothers did just beat it through your head. I can remember my address when I was 5 years old.
Yep.
And my phone number. She just beat it in case I ever got lost. DA19927.
Do you remember your address in Nashville, or does it take a second?
I remember it only because I had to find it recently.
Okay.
So I know it was 1303 Liberty Pike, Franklin, Tennessee. Could not tell you the zip code though.
Well, like we've talked about this before. I'll forget who A&M played last week in baseball and watching the game, but I remember the freaking Oilers schedule of 1992. It's just weird the way our brains work.
It is crazy that way.
All right, let's open up the text line. You can text us up this morning, 979-693-1150. That is the A&B text line. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking, the website, amb.com. We go behind the glass. Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, sir.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
How are you? Every time you wear that shirt, I like it.
I know, it's pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. It's one of my favorite shirts. But
I should wear it.
Yeah, I'll get you one.
Yeah, you'd have to get a larger size.
What? I used to be a medium.
This is David's size, so it'll look like, just skin tight on him. So,
in fact, why does David even bother with shirts? Why don't you just do the old body paint?
I don't know if our audience is into that, OB, now I think about it. I know we have. I just don't think our audience is into that.
Break into the crab pose right now.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I want you to break.
I don't even know what the crab pose is.
What do they call this one? The
Hulk
archer
Hogan?
or I don't know.
I call it the Hulk
Okay,
Hogan.
I'm sorry.
I think he wants the double bicep.
Look at
flex
you did that on purpose.
I'm sorry, Nick.
No.
Nick's got guns.
Yeah, doubt it.
Well, you know what? He has the constitutional right.
This is true, OB.
You're damn right, OB.
You're damn right. Nick, tell us something.
Hey, yeah. So I want to correct something I said yesterday. I think I said softball was playing yesterday. They're actually playing today in the SEC tournament, opening it up against South Carolina at 1:00. So we're looking forward to that. Aggie women's golf shot a. Let me make sure I get this right.
They were amazing on the back nine.
In the final 5 holes of yesterday's round, they went 11 under to take the lead in the San Antonio Regional. They lead SMU by 4 strokes. And yeah, kind of touching on what you were saying earlier, David, I went and looked at the last 5 starts for Aggie starting pitchers. And in those games, 23 1/3 innings pitched, only 6 runs allowed, 14 hits, 14 walks. So still a little heavy on the walks, and 20 strikeouts. So those starting pitchers.
Last 5 starts.
Yeah, last 5 starts.
That includes 2 Justin Lampkin starts, right?
That includes 2 Justin Lampkin starts, a Detmer start, Wansing on Saturday, and Will Johnson on Sunday.
But I think about 5 or 6 of those walks came in one game.
Right.
Yeah, 4 from Wansing on Saturday.
Okay, so it was only 4. Okay, I thought there was 5 in or something. So what am I?
5 against. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, OB. 5 against Tarleton from Lampkin.
So you're saying 9 in
yep.
the last 4 games. Well, that's just over 2 a game. You can live with that.
You can absolutely live with that, especially if it's going in this direction as opposed to the direction it was going
for sure.
earlier on. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate you,
yes, sir.
So you're exercising your second arm amendment.
Second arm amendment? This is not a tight shirt. Look, it's loose.
For your guns.
You think it's tight?
I don't know. Well, everything's on you tight because you're just, you're so muscular. And you're just busting out.
Again, I'm going to say this, not for the last time. In an AM radio
Somebody
community.
called the zoo because we got the pythons are out.
In an AM radio community, yeah, I'm strong. In any other community, I'm not. I've seen other talk show hosts around the country and in this market. I'm strong.
Nick, can you bring us some tape because David's ripped?
Yeah, will do.
Look, I'm not going to tell everybody about my 16-inch pythons.
Good.
Thank you, OB. All right, let's hit a break here. I don't know. Should I? What rhymes with Fargo's?
What rhymes with Fargo's?
Morgos.
All I think is let's go. Let's go. I'm going to Key Largo.
Are you?
In about 3 weeks, but I'd rather go to Fargo's today.
Let's be honest. I love Fargo's. I think.
What
I'd
if there was a
rather go
Fargo's
to Key Largo.
in Key Largo?
It wouldn't be the same. It's got to be done here with this kitchen, with this group of dudes.
I bet people in Florida
I should say.
would appreciate it, though.
Oh, they would love it. But I don't want to split Allen and Belinda and Maurice up. I don't want to
share.
do that. Yeah.
It's too good.
No, it's our place. It's kind of like there's another institution that is here in town that has kind of exploded. So you can get a burrito. And I was happy when I went to other markets, but I was also sad.
Yeah, I understand that. But you know what? When you're one of the 50 best barbecue places in the world, it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to be awesome.
You're going to be awesome. You're right. That's true. Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What's going on there at Wednesday?
Wouldn't Wednesday be a chopped beef on a potato?
Yeah, but you don't know what else they have on Wednesdays. That's for sure.
Well, they have everything.
But the other special.
The other special on Wednesday, would that be a beef rib?
That is a beef. Well, you get more than one, I assume.
Well,
yes, beef ribs, yeah.
Well, I don't know if, just depending on the size of that rib, you may only need one.
You only may need one. Tomorrow, they have my favorite side. Do you know what my favorite side is?
Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. I had macaroni and cheese yesterday at home. It's good. Not as good as Fargo's.
No, I would believe that.
Yeah. They've been around for about 22 years. Football weekends, office parties, you name it. They're going to take great care of you. Celebrations done the right way. Good food done right.
You know what's coming up on Saturday?
What's that?
You know what's coming up on Saturday?
The night before Mother's Day?
Rib tips.
Oh, rib tips.
Get your mother rib tips.
Yes.
For Mother's Day. She'll thank you.
OB might get himself some rib tips. 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's their trademark because it's true. It's Fargo's.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. First Methodist Church in Bryan invites you to a special event with Master Potter Rachel Norris. Hear Rachel's personal testimony and see a demo of how a potter works with clay this Friday at 6:30 p.m. Bryan ISD's 22nd Anniversary Art Fest is this Saturday at Bryan High's Silver Campus Cafeteria from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come celebrate creativity and the visual arts. Property owners can now schedule an appointment for an informal review with the Brazos Central Appraisal District. Formal hearings begin May 16th. Contact the BCAD office at 979-774-4100. Find out more about current and upcoming events and exhibitions at the University Art Galleries in the Memorial Student Center. Go online to uart.tmu.edu. You can hear Aggie baseball on the Zone, Aggie softball on Gospel 97.3 FM, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Howdy, I'm Steve Bledsoe, Senior Vice President at Veribank. Whether you're looking for a safe place to keep and grow your money, funding to help your business expand, or financial advice to ensure you're on track for retirement, Veribank has you covered. We take a genuine interest in your needs and working to find the best solution for you. At Veribank, we believe in giving you a better banking experience every day. Stop by our location in College Station or visit us at veribank.com. That's VERA bank.com.
Veribank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's David Nuño, and QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back their quality of life and providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Where's your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. And best of all, you walk into the office and walk right out after treatment. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally being able to play golf, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family. Whenever it is, don't wait one more day. Get started today with a call to QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That is 979-452-6000. 6,000.
On the Louis Bellina Show, participation is encouraged and it is rewarded. You can call me each day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 at 979-693-1150. You and I can hang out on the Smoothie King hotline, or maybe you're a texter, 979-693-1150. Hit send. I read all your text messages Monday through Friday, 11 to 2, inside the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox.
Now this is a good one.
It is.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner Shielders here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, I want to talk a little basketball here with you in a moment, but I'm just out of curiosity. This is more a question for those who do this, not for those who don't. And I know people will text in. What gets into people that feel like being negative is okay? And I'm like social media, let's just say, like to go out of your way to tell somebody they are not good at their job, be it a broadcaster, be it an athlete, be it whatever.
Well, I think some people feel better by themselves. They can't raise themselves up, so they want to bring everybody else down to their level because they can't raise themselves up to the, look, if I'm feeling bad about my station in life, I can do something about it.
By making somebody else feel,
I can do something
Sure,
about it.
Yeah.
And what I can choose to do is do whatever it takes to raise my standard. Or I can kind of wallow in my own misery and try to bring others down with me.
Yeah, I just don't understand the thought process behind it. Look, I understand when you are a public person, you're going to hear it. And I'm not saying that I'm not if somebody doesn't like your show, somebody doesn't like the way you play, I get it. It comes with the territory. My thinking is, but what makes you feel like I was taught, and I think you were taught too, don't say anything.
Is there a name?
Huh?
Is there a name attached to
95% of the time there isn't.
And that's the biggest part of it. Social media has made people a lot meaner because they can spew venom without consequence in a lot of cases.
So I had an interaction with somebody yesterday who actually is very kind to me personally, but I look through the interactions and then and I'm like, everything this person sends is a critique. It's something negative. I was taught to be, I don't know, like if I don't like Stephen A. Smith, I don't get in his mentions. I don't send him a direct message. I don't tweet at him. I just don't watch him.
Yeah,
I don't hate him. Like sometimes I watch him, like, oh, okay, there's some content that I can pay attention to. I just don't feel the need to, and I don't have a fake account, so maybe that's part of it. I don't understand the process if they were booing somebody. Who was it that I was watching that they were? Carlos Correa, Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
Well, I'm a big Carlos Correa guy. I understand your right to boo. I get, and I've never done it. Like, it's not my thing to boo, but I get it. But to go out and send people messages because they're not playing well, it's not like they want to play bad.
I've booed.
Yeah.
I have taunted. I think there's a line that can be crossed.
There's a line, yeah.
What I think, now we're getting a whole nother territory, but I think athletes have gotten so soft where they get you don't have, you bought a ticket to watch the game. You didn't buy a ticket to be able to boo me. You know, I think that's ridiculous.
No, you have the right,
but it's kind of trending that way.
Yeah, but there's a divide, right? And look, I'm not saying I don't get it. When you go to a sporting event, it's part of the charm of a home field advantage. I do have a hard time booing my own guys, but I understand it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah,
but to go out of your way on social and talk bad, you're terrible at your job, you can't field the ball, your talk show sucks, whatever. Like I'm not saying everything has to be positive, but I don't understand the mindset behind, let me go ahead and say this to the world.
Yeah, I had someone attack me once in my previous job. They've done it here too. But in my previous job, and I said, my answer was, and yet I get paid very well to go to the sporting events you pay to see.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that. You know, I'm still living a good life. It's like your critique's not going to bother me. I think that, look, I don't know if you're talking about something that happened to you personally.
No, it actually wasn't about me directly.
Or if you're talking about,
but it's just in general. Yeah.
But first of all, and you know this, I'm not telling you something you don't know. If you're going to be in any kind of media, that's part of it, and you just accept it.
Yeah. Somebody's
going to hate you just because they don't like their.
But some people don't like when you respond to it. They think it's petty.
And
I'm Mr. Petty, Tom Petty. Call me, baby.
Because you won't back down. You're Tom Petty.
No,
that's a Tom Petty song.
Oh, that's good. That's well played, sir. And my thought process is like, look, I get it. Like I've been in this business for 20 years. It's part of it. To me, it's just more like why you go out of your way to do it. And again, it goes back to a fake account for the most part that typically likes to do it.
Well, I just wish that if somebody had an issue with me, you know, and like there was a guy, I'll just say from another website, was often attacking me on Twitter.
Right.
And I just blocked him because my philosophy is just block those people. I use a compound word. But, you know, why don't you just come to me? And I'm easy to find and say, hey, I have an issue with this. I'd say, okay, all right. Well, I probably won't change anything, but okay. But I have some sack.
Yeah, well, and I always tell people, I don't think you'd say it in my face. And if you would, then you're probably not a very kind person. And secondly, you wouldn't, right? Or to any, like you're not going to go tell Carlos Correa in his face. When you see Carlos Correa out and about, you're going to go shake his hand. Hey, man, big fan. Mm-hmm. That's what people do. Big fan.
Yeah.
You know, I don't block people, by the way. I don't want to give that satisfaction. I sometimes mute. For the most part, I let it be. I don't want to get too high, get too low. I think we live in a world, especially like television viewing. Everything is geo-targeted, right? You go watch what you want to watch at the time you want to watch it, and there's no outside influence. You have a certain type of news you watch. You have a certain type of sports you watch. You go straight to it. I like the old school way where you had to change the channels, and then there's something on this channel. I didn't think I'd watch this. And or sometimes when you leave a station, sometimes I'll leave a radio station or a Sirius station, let's say, right? It's always the Zone. But let's just say I leave it. And then in the morning, there's a new show that I didn't, I like finding things out. So that's why I don't like to block out noise or mute topics. Look, I see it, and I deal with it.
And when I block because I want you to know I blocked you. I don't mute you. I block you because I want you to know, because I don't. And then there's, hey, look, you blocked me. I don't care.
I'm proud. Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't get is like people that, like if a guy commits or signs with A&M and you wanted him and you're mad about it, and so you attack that kid. Well, that's the one I really can't figure out.
Well,
you see that.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're trying to figure out social media and the way people. It's been such a bizarre, swamp of discontent for the most part.
The things you do in the dark are usually the worst things, right? And when you have a fake account on social media, you're probably out there to pretend to be somebody else, or maybe show who you really are.
Or want to be.
Or who you want to be.
Yeah.
A bunch of text messages coming in on that, and an 83. No, I'm not going to answer that 832. I'll just
832.
I'll just type to you directly. All right, I'm a large. All right, he asked what size shirt I wear. I wear a large.
Yeah, but make it a small.
I was a medium 3 years ago. Sorry, I eat a lot now. I eat a lot. All right, let's hit a break. We're going to come back. Let's talk about the Association of Former Students. So last night, where was Jimbo? Do you know?
San Antonio.
He was in San Antonio. Where was he on Monday?
Houston.
He was. And then today he'll be at Fort Worth, Tarrant County A&M Club. You got Thursday, the Capital City A&M Club. Tuesday, May 16th, Brazos County right here, A&M Club. And Wednesday, May 17th, the Dallas A&M Club.
It's like a rock star on a tour.
Dude, he's everywhere, right? Answering the same question, different ways, right? For more information, visit tx.ag/coachesnight. That is brought to you by the Association of Former Students. And as a reminder, if you're a graduate from A&M within the past 12 years and you're leading example in your business and your service, the Association of Former Students wants to invite you to nominate yourself or someone you know for the 12 Under 12 Alumni Spotlight, because they want to recognize a dozen Aggies who have graduated within the last 12 years for their business accomplishments, civic or military service, philanthropic efforts, outstanding representation of A&M's core values, excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, and respect. 2023 nominations are going to close on Monday, so be sure to submit a nomination before it closes. To learn more about the recognition and submit a nomination, visit tx.ag/12under12. That is tx.ag/12under12.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where we respect all and fear none.
It's time. Here we go!
Let's go!
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
As the old saying goes, if your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. At Intercon, we have a full toolbox to meet your window needs. Perhaps your home is ready for a full retrofit to vinyl windows. This full replacement option beautifies your home while improving thermal efficiency, noise reduction, and dust penetration. On the other hand, your existing windows may just need some maintenance. The glass in your existing windows may be replaced, in many cases upgraded to more efficient options. The mechanism in your windows can be replaced to allow the window to operate more smoothly. Maybe you just need solar screens on some windows to eliminate hot spots in your home that tax the air conditioning system and make some rooms unlivable. With the breadth and depth of Intercon's knowledge and product offering, we can find the solution that meets your needs and budgetary constraints. Trust your friends at Intercon to understand your needs and use the best tool for the job.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit anb.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Howdy, this is Father Brian Eilers inviting you to the 48th Annual St. Joseph Catholic Church Parish Festival, Sunday, May 14th at the Brazos County Expo Center. Doors open at 11 and admission is free. Enjoy delicious barbecue, kolaches, and all kinds of desserts. There'll be tons of games for the kids, silent and live auctions. Special thanks to our corporate sponsor, Lone Star Roof Systems. For more info, visit stjosephbcs.org, celebrating 150 years serving the Brazos Valley. St. Joseph Catholic Church, many cultures, one faith.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
You can hear Houston Astros baseball all season, all postseason long on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. All season long, Houston Astros baseball on the Zone and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer.
This is my jam. What perfectly placed song, buddy.
Yeah, it really is. And, when I know you've not attended a game at Florida yet, and I think they still do this, but before the fourth quarter, because Tom Petty started, they turn off the lights, everybody turns on their phones, and they sing.
It's a cool environment.
Oh, yeah, and they sing this song while moving their phones to the beat and everything. And it's just a great atmosphere.
I'm trying to think, what's been the best
if they still do that.
I think Alabama this year, in the 2 years I've been here, has been the best atmosphere that I've been to.
If Tennessee's good,
it'll be.
You're going to love it.
But am I right? Bama seemed like a very good atmosphere this year. I remember their halftime show being good, the lights in the stadium.
They do it well. And of course, they were also scared crapless.
Yeah. And we were excited crapless, or whatever that means.
You just can't use the other word.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Like Denver was a stadium.
You don't have to like it, but LSU's
a
great.
It's a good atmosphere. I actually enjoyed Ole Miss. I enjoyed it. I don't need to go back, but I enjoyed it.
And yet you're going back this year.
I don't know if I'm going to that one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm going to that one.
All right.
Mississippi State was okay. Those are all right.
Those
Cowboys.
Cowbells, but I guess if I'm one of them, I would like it.
OB, so we've talked a little bit about the turnaround for A&M this year, the hopeful turnaround, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have cited on this show different examples of a team going 5 or 7, sometimes a little bit worse, sometimes a little bit better, the 6 and 6s of the world, the 4 and 8s, and then having a better turnaround. Does that turnaround mean getting to the college football playoffs? We saw it last year. Does that mean a 10-win team? So I thought we'd kind of go through some examples over the last few years and just kind of break those down. So let's see. We're going to start off with 2021 LSU. They went 5-7. What did they do last year? 10-4, won the SEC.
They 5-7. Really?
That's what it says here. I think they were 5-7, or I think they were 5-7. Yeah.
Okay.
5-7.
They were 6-6.
Maybe they. Yeah. Wait. Didn't they go to a bowl game that year?
Yeah, and they lost.
Okay. So
that's 6-7 is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we all know what one of those wins was.
But
anyway, yeah.
Nick, what are you saying, buddy? I can't hear you. Nick is yelling. I can't hear him. I'm just joking with the guys back here.
Okay.
No worries.
So anyway, it was a very mediocre at best season in Baton Rouge.
Here's a little bit of info. LSU in 2021, their offense was ranked 61st. Their defense was ranked 43rd. They fixed that in 2022, which is, again, I'm using this through an A&M lens because we know where the defense was okay and the offense definitely had their struggles. Offense went to number 13 in the country. Defense was at 23rd. So significant jump ups, obviously, when you go from 5-7, double your win total, or 6-6 to 10 wins. So there's that. Brian Kelly, obviously, the new coach, changed the philosophy. They have a new OC. So that changed. The other one from last year that we all have pointed out is TCU.
TCU, yeah.
They went 4-7, I believe.
They went 5-7.
5-7. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I said 4-7. To 13-2 college football finalists, playoff finalists. In 2021, offense, which was not bad, 37th. This past year, 9th in the country. Defense went from 112th. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Well, at least offensively, that was to 33rd. Sonny Dykes came in as head coach. Garrett Riley as the OC. So that kind of made some changes.
You can bring in guys now. You can get better faster.
And we're going to go.
And they're in the Big 12.
We're going to go even deeper, though.
Let's go deep.
We're going to go before the real transfer era that we're in right now. Notre Dame, Brian Kelly.
Oh, yeah. He went 4-8 one year.
2016, 4-8. 2017, 10-3. Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, and I think, wasn't there that year a very controversial loss to Clemson?
That sounds right, but you know what the key coaching change was? Mike Elko was their defensive coordinator.
That's right.
All right, they went from 45th on defense to 15th.
And Elko's good.
He is good. Offensively, they improved 30 spots as well, or almost 30 spots. They went from 53rd to 24th. I'm going to give you another one. I don't know why my voice did that. Auburn, 2012.
Oh, yeah, that's the gold standard there.
2-9 to 11-2. Offense went from 85th
to 2-9? 3-9.
3-9, yeah. Whoever wrote these notes.
I saw Ian put 63 up on them.
I'm kidding, Brighton, but I'm not.
Maybe he meant against FBS competition because
Gotcha.
there's probably an FCS team in there.
So there you go. 2-11-2.
And about 8 seconds, maybe 13 seconds away from winning the national championship.
Yes, sir. They went from
Of course, that I will say this. They got a new coach, and I know you're going to give the numbers on their offense. Sometimes you need good fortune too.
You do.
But not just to stay healthy. That was the luckiest team in the history of college football.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. Offensively, they did go from 85th to 6th.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some more examples here in a second of maybe success stories not that as successful as we just saw, but I'm going to give you some other ones. A&M, though, just as a reminder, it says here their offensive rank was 73rd, defense was 24th.
Last year?
Offensively, they were much worse.
They were 93rd in total offense.
Total offense, yeah.
And 101st in scoring offense.
That doesn't win a lot of games.
No.
It does not. So we're going to now go through some examples, other examples that are, I think, it doesn't necessarily, this would be a good season for A&M, right? We all want the 11-2. We all want to get to the playoffs. But other examples, Kentucky in 2016 finished the season with a record of 7-6. But in 2017, they went 5-7. So there was a good year followed by a bad year. In 2018, they won 10 games and played in the Citrus Bowl.
And one of their losses was Texas A&M.
That is right. Big game. Michigan State finished the season with a record of 3-9 in 2016. However, in 2017, they went 10-3 with a Holiday Bowl win. Northwestern in 2019 finished the season 3-9. 2020, 7-2 and played in the Big Ten championship game. Virginia 2016, 2-10 in 2016. However, they went 6-7 2017, and then in 2019, a couple years later, they won 9 games and played in the Orange Bowl. Auburn, we've already done a little bit of their story, but how about Florida in 2017? They finished the season with a 4-7 record. 2018, they won 10 games and played in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, I doubt it's 4-7.
Yeah, I don't know why these.
I mean, 4-8. They lost to Georgia Southern in a game where they had 2 offensive linemen blocking each other on one play.
Right.
And then there's Michigan in 2020 in that shortened season, only went 2-4, and they docked Jim Harbaugh's pay. And then the next year they're in the playoff. You can go back to Hawaii. I can't tell you exactly the year, but it would have been early 2000s when they were like 1-11, and the next year they won like 10 games.
I got one for y'all. So 2021, Tulane Green Wave went 2-10, and then this past year, 2022, they went 12-2 and beat USC, right? In the
that was an amazing game. Did you see that game between Tulane and USC?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
What an amazing football game that was.
That was. They're a great story. They are absolutely a great story. So, if we see the progress offensively that we expect, then why not expect those kind of results?
I do.
If we see the progress defensively, now the jump for defense isn't necessarily as high as the jump for offense. But I think, I don't want to say a minimal jump on offense. But if you get to the middle of the pack, you're winning a lot more games. I think you're going to go higher than the middle of the pack. But if you just get to the middle of the pack, you're going to get a lot higher. Defensively, they just got to fix really one thing. Stopping the run.
Well, yeah. They need to get better pass rush.
They got to get better pass rush, yes.
Yeah. Their pass rush was anemic. So they got to get better there.
Those two areas, yeah, you're right. But better pass rush and stop the run, which are two. But the overall production defensively, they were able to keep teams below their average for the most part.
Yeah. Get turnovers.
Force some turnovers and get to the quarterback. All things we want to see.
Do all the things that you want to see of a wrecking crew style defense.
So those examples aren't why I believe A&M will. The reason I believe A&M will is because they've identified their issues and they're making changes there. But those are examples of the why it can happen, because we do expect the offense to jump. We do expect the defense to get better.
I do. I think Bobby Petrino has a lot of talent to work with. And I think he's going to add some imagination that was sorely lacking. The offensive line has to be better. You need help to be healthy. But you're telling me that they had problems at center last year. Well, Bryce Foster's going to be back.
Yep.
Okay, you're telling me that the left guard was a problem. Well, it was. Had a lot of injuries there, but then when Cam Dewberry stepped in, he started playing pretty well and solidified things. We're telling me, and we're hoping this is the case, that Reuben Fothery, like happens a lot of times, got maybe a little bit too big.
Yep.
And he's slimming down to get back some of that quickness.
Couple text messages. I do want to do some on the other side of the break, but let me read this from Chris in Belleville. Why is there a quarterback competition? You would think after last season everyone knows Connor is the guy, or if he's not, then you've seen enough to film to say Max is the guy. When Mon was here, there was never a quarterback competition. Jimbo always named him the guy. I'm gonna answer this multiple ways, OB, and you help me out here. First off, it's a new offense. You got to give your offensive coordinator an opportunity to learn about his quarterbacks, right? Secondly, no position on a 5-7 team should be given. Third, Max Johnson played really well before he got hurt. Well enough.
Well enough. I think if I was setting the odds, if I was the Alabama baseball coach, I would set the odds that Connor Wigman
is your starter,
and that's who I'd bet on. Because if I'm the Alabama coach, I'm cheating. But that's what I would do.
Well, don't you think in this new era where people can transfer, it would make more sense to if it's close to let it keep going? There's no reason to name. Well, what advantage do you get by saying Max is the guy today or Connor? Like, they're close. Let it play out.
Right. Because I will say this, in the spring game, for what it's worth, and personally I don't think it's worth that much, but in the spring game, I thought Max had the better performance of the two in the spring game.
Yeah.
Now, and I've seen Max be successful. Unfortunately, it was against A&M when he was at LSU, and he has more experience. So I think what you do is it's not about trying to keep somebody from transferring or anything like that. It's I want to be absolutely sure. I want this thing going because I don't care who the quarterback is as long as he's good. So, are you gonna go out on 2 dates and ask her to marry you?
Some people do.
Yeah, and how does that usually work out?
My parents have been married 50.
They only went out 2 years.
It was a few. They got married within 3 months.
Okay, it happens.
It does happen,
but more often than not, it ends poorly.
Yes, no, it wouldn't be my philosophy, but sometimes you meet the one. But if you met her at the club, never mind.
Wait a minute. That's exactly what I did.
Well, which club? Which club?
It was the Dallas nightclub in Austin, Texas.
All right.
Country bar.
That's, I think, a safe place to meet somebody.
Well, anyway.
At the night at the Roxbury?
But we went out more than twice.
Yeah, you did. You met the right one.
It's my quarterback. That's my quarterback, man.
And your point guard. And your head coach.
Depends on the season.
All right. Let's hit a break here. I think we just started our Olin Buchanan heritage film, but it's going to be a love story. We're going to do the origin story of how Olin and Irma met and how their love was professed, and they started this empire in College Station. And now they had a little situation where their son had to go elsewhere for college, and it hurts OB's heart, but he comes home. And then he leaves. And then he comes home, and then he leaves. That's the part of the heritage film story for Olin Buchanan. I'd love to know how he got into sports writing. He's told me some of it, but I want to hear it. That'd be a cool heritage film, man. I'd like to see that.
Probably be rated PG.
13.
13.
Yeah. Like the 1988 PG-13, not the today PG-13. Today's PG-13 is more of like a Marvel movie. I'm talking like Beverly Hills Cop PG-13.
What would Billy's life story be rated on?
An R?
An R?
Not because it's an art
for
film.
Violence?
It's an art film. It's a very art film.
But I bet your friend could make it.
He can make it whatever you want.
Wanted to be. Yeah.
He's going to tell the true story, but he can make it whatever he wants. Heritage Films, the website, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341. Your Heritage Film, 713-893-8341.
Bronnies will be ready.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Brazos County A&M Club is hosting Coaches Night with Jimbo Fisher, among other A&M coaches, on Tuesday, May 16th at Legends Event Center. More information is online at bcamc.org. Join thousands of people across the globe in a mission to bring life-changing clean water and fullness of life to children in communities around the world. Register for the World Vision Global 6K for Water at worldvision6k.org. Join BCS Clean Water Tribe and walk from anywhere on Saturday, May 20th. The Mental Health First Aid Program teaches participants how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a possible mental health challenge or substance misuse, de-escalate situations, listen non-judgmentally, and connect people to resources. This free course is offered each month at the Brazos County Health District. Every Tuesday at 1:55, join Louis Bellina for the Mascot of the Week with Long Way Home Adoptables, brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Property tax statements. We all receive them, but at times we need an expert to help appeal our assessment. At Paramount's Property Tax Consultants in College Station, we specialize in appealing property taxes, saving property owners over $1 million in taxes last year. Whether it's your residence, investment property, or commercial property, to reduce your property taxes, trust Property Tax Consultants, 35 years of experience to deliver. Visit PropertyTaxConsulting.com for your free consultation today.
It's mowing season in the Brazos Valley, and you can make quick work on your property with a zero-turn rider mower from Ferris or Cub Cadet. Hi, this is David, reminding you whether you're mowing a lawn or a large commercial property, Kyrus Truck Center has what you need in stock right now to get you started. Stop by and let us show you how to make mowing as close to fun as it gets with a zero-turn rider at Kyrus Truck Center. Highway 21, half mile east of the bypass in Bryan.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Mike Tannenbaum. Packers were 8-9 and lost Aaron Rodgers. Better, worse, or the same this year?
I'm going to say better. I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. I think he's actually gotten better. And then you look at the draft, they got a number of weapons, from Musgrave to Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, another tight end. And now they have those two young receivers, Christian Watson, who was a second-round pick a year ago, and Romeo Doubs, a fourth-round pick. They're going to be better. So I think they can make the playoffs and actually be better than they were a year ago.
I think it's a better football team, Mike. I think when you add some of the players that they've gotten, but not only that, you're not asking Jordan Love to win the football game for you. You're not asking him to do the same thing that you may have asked Aaron Rodgers to do. You just don't want him to lose the game at this stage of his career. And I think they can run the football, they can dink and dunk and play defense solid and sound. That defensive unit got better toward the end of the season last year.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on the Zone.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
I can guarantee this song was not playing at the Dallas Country Club in Austin.
They play a lot of rap songs and stuff like that at the country club bars. They really do.
I know. I've been.
So they might have.
I'm familiar, but this is not what I would consider rap.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or pop.
Hadaway, is that who it is? Am I right about that? I'm embarrassed that I know. I was corrected. Beverly Hills Cop was not rated PG-13. It was rated R. Red Dawn was the first PG-13 film. David in the Pacific Northwest.
I like that movie, Red Dawn.
I've told the story before. In 1983, my parents took me to see a movie about a Cuban who left the island.
Scarface?
Yeah. I was 7 years old.
That explains so much.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So I don't think, to my parents' credit, I don't think they realized what they were getting into. It was one of those like, oh, it's about a Cuban who came to this country. Like, I don't know if they knew like the drug lord, the F-bombs, but I saw that movie in '83. My boys are about to be 15. They haven't seen it yet. I feel like as a Cuban, you have to watch it at some point. I'm still waiting.
Do you have to watch I Love Lucy as a Cuban?
I don't even know if my kids know that Desi Arnaz is Cuban. I should probably. That's probably bad parenting by me. So we have upped the production on this show because we've hired like some producer interns. Brighton Courtmont is joining us. He's from the area, goes to the University of Houston, but he loves A&M sports. Great kid, doing awesome work. But
wait,
he
goes
came
to the University of Houston.
He does.
Oh,
but he lives here in the summer and in winter break, and he loves A&M sports.
Well, I'm sorry to say that's starting to explain.
It makes a lot of sense. So in the last segment, he created this awesome, spreadsheet file, whatever you want to call it, notes with like these records of 5 and 7 to whatever they would be, and there were several that were missing numbers. Like I would say 4 and 7 here, like doesn't make sense. 4 and 8. So Brighton came in during the break, and Brighton, I'm going to let you make your kind of debut on TexAgs Radio. What happened?
I used footballoutsiders.com to get all of my information. And in their 2021 section, where you look at all the records and all their offensive rankings and everything, they dropped a win off of everyone's total for some reason. So Football Outsiders,
even A&M.
Well,
you don't have to Google it. It's fine.
No. It's right here. I got it.
Okay. That's not right here.
Okay. It's not right here.
Okay.
It's right here. 7 and 4.
Yeah. We all are familiar.
But they're probably, I'm guessing, dropping the outcome against an FCS opponent.
That's probably what they did.
By the way, is it Brent?
Brighton.
Brighton? Oh, yeah. By the way, welcome to the College Station and Texas A&M, the home of the 11th man. Since you're going to drop one.
Yeah. I get it. Look, I'd like to apologize to TexAgs fans.
It's not really your fault, though. It's not your fault. Like I got your back on this one. I would have made the same mistake. I did make it. I'm the one who read it on air.
For my own statistical integrity, I'd like to apologize still.
Brighton, you're doing great work.
Well,
I want to say that out there. You've been here a little over a week, and you've been great and really helping out the show. Thank you, man.
Hawaii went from 1 and 11 in 2001. I believe I got that right. 2001, 1 and 11 to 10 and 4 in 2002.
Who's that quarterback?
I don't even know.
That wasn't Timmy Chang, was it? Might have been. I'm going to read this. Sutton College Station. I think the change with Bobby Petrino makes the change for A&M to have that type of turnaround. I mean,
we're counting on it. I think so too.
We've had analysts come on this show and say he's the best offensive coordinator hired. There's some people who don't even put him in the top 15 hires, but we've had some come in here. If he's even half of what I think he can be, this team's already significantly better.
Give me one more touchdown. I'm 10 and 2.
Unless you're Brighton, then you lose one.
That's why it's Brighton's fault. They lost one. Okay.
OB, thank you, sir.
Cougar.
When you say Cougar, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You're talking about the University of Houston, or?
Of course, that's what we were just referring to, wasn't it?
I'll tell you at the break.
Okay.
All right, when we come back on TexAgs Radio, Juan Haris, John Harris. We'll have him on the show, footballtakeover.com, and Houston Texans sideline reporter next on TexAgs.
This Larry Shelby previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Paul, I tell you, the way to improve some of these callers, quit giving out the number. Just give out alphabet. Make them figure the damn numbers out.
That's a really good idea. So you're saying you think I'm making it too easy?
Absolutely. Yeah, all you got to do is listen to the calls.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fund Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
If you believe placing your electronic devices on sleep or standby when connected to a network will prevent attacks by hackers, think again. They are susceptible to remote attacks. So whenever possible, turn your computer, tablet, or smartphone completely off, or switch to the airplane mode located in your settings application. It's your first line of defense against hack attack. A public service message from the Consumer Electronics Association.
Listen to The Zone online at RadioAggieland.com. Don't miss Louie, Chip, TexAgs, or your favorite Aggie teams as they play on The Zone. Listen online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. More than 2 years since Winter Storm Uri froze water lines that broke in the city of Bryan's Phillips Event Center, the $8 million restoration project continues. The latest hurdle is replacing the roof so it can handle new air conditioning equipment. The Bryan City Council at its meeting unanimously approved without discussion a $105,000 change order. Financing more than $37 million of Brazos County roads and building projects was approved yesterday by county commissioners. Financial advisor Dennis Whaley said borrowing the money at 3.5% interest was the result of an improved bond rating.
Strong management with good financial policies and practices, and consistently positive operating performance.
More than $9 million in certificates of obligation will finance renovations at the courthouse, the county administration building, the former Bryan ISD administration building, and the county's 911 and emergency operations center. Almost $28 million in bonds will pay for road and bridge improvements. Members of the Texas House Higher Education Committee were told this week about the negative impact of a Senate bill that would eliminate tenure for professors at public universities. Texas A&M professor Trevor Hale is also president of the Texas Council of Faculty Senate.
We cannot hire rock star faculty at Texas A&M right now. People are turning us down.
After more than 3 hours of testimony, SB 18 was left pending in the House committee. For the 21st time, the Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce has a local delegation visiting federal officials in Washington, D.C.
We have really a great reputation in that. The Texas Association of Business calls us one of the top 3 chambers in the state on legislative affairs.
Chamber Community Liaison Royce Hickman, who started the trips when he was the organization's president, thanked Congressman Michael McCall for lining up visits at the U.S. Capitol. Hickman says the chamber's legislative package includes economic development, fiscal responsibility, health care, education, and transportation issues specific to the Brazos Valley. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
At ASCO, we're on it, and Case IH Farmall tractors are on it too. For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, you can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and baling, and then some. Visit ASCO Equipment in Bryan to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you. At ASCO, we're on it.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Aggie baseball put up 11 runs in 7 innings last night to run-roll UT Rio Grande Valley at Bluebell Park. The team had 9 stolen bases, the most in a single game since 2006. Justin Lampkin got the victory, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 7 with no walks in 5 1/3 innings. The win was the first by an Aggie starting pitcher since March 11th, snapping the 33-game streak. The guys return to SEC play this weekend with a 3-game series against Alabama at Olsen Field. Game 1 is scheduled for Friday night at 6 o'clock. The number 23 A&M softball team is scheduled to open SEC tournament play against South Carolina today at 1 p.m. in Fayetteville. The Aggies' regular season matchup with South Carolina didn't go as planned as the Gamecocks swept the Aggies. You can listen to the game today at 1 o'clock on Gospel 97.3. The number 1 seeded A&M women's golf team shot 11 under in the final 5 holes of the second round and has the lead in the NCAA San Antonio Regional. The final round will begin this morning for the Aggies at 9:06. Aggie tennis had Mary Stoyana and Kenner Taylor earn spots in the 2023 Division I Academic All-District team. The Aggie women return to the Mitchell Tennis Center Friday for the NCAA Tournament Round of 16, where they will host the number 15 seed Tennessee with first serve set for 2 p.m. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett. On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author John Feinstein about David Farady's addictive nature.
And he will go there and just shoot at targets, sometimes with friends, sometimes alone, to take care of whatever cravings he has for alcohol, and they're still there. He said, his line is that every day in his life is white knuckle trying not to drink again.
Sports Talk, exposing tears behind the laughter. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
And we're back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in this morning. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can text us on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. Let's go to the hotline. We're joined by John Harris, sideline reporter for the Houston Texans and FootballTakeover.com czar himself. Johnny, good morning, sir.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm well, buddy. I'm just going to throw out this topic because we just had it in the 8:30, and I didn't think about asking you, but I'll ask you about it. 5 and 7 turnarounds, 4 and 8 turnarounds. There's several examples of that. In your mind, give us a couple reasons why A&M can have a significant turnaround. Like I'm talking 10-win or more kind of turnaround. What are some reasons for it, Johnny?
Well, one, there's talent. And that's what you need. You need talent.
I like how you let that settle there.
Yeah, first and foremost, I mean, it just starts there. I mean, you've got to, in the SEC, I mean, it seems obvious, but I think it's always the one thing we overlook. I mean, you've got to have talent, and they've got young talent at a lot of key positions. So let's start there. Number two, you've got to be dominant on the offensive, defensive lines of scrimmage. And I think going with number one, there's talent to do that, but it's got to stay healthy. Some young guys on the defensive front have got to take their games to another level. Two, I think there is a true opportunity to do that. Three, and I don't know if I'm putting these in order. It's just kind of popping in my head. 3, consistent quarterback play with hopefully one quarterback. I don't know over the years that we've seen a team turn things around and it's been a couple of quarterbacks, a quarterback struggled, but they went to the other guy, or, the one team that comes to mind that did this, and I don't know how it worked, but it faded at the end of the year. 98 Arizona Wildcats, they rotated 2 quarterbacks, Keith Smith and Ortiz Jenkins, and they rotated them somehow, and they were both great. So that worked. But I think it's got to be one guy, and one guy taking the strides every week. So if you have talent, especially in this conference, and you're dominant on the offensive defensive lines, I mean, think of every team that's won the SEC. Which team can you think back to and go, you know what? They weren't really that good on the offensive defensive line. People will say 2010 Auburn. They had Cam. Yeah. Remember Nick Fairley?
Yeah.
Remember how good that dude was on the defensive side of the ball? The offensive line in front of Cam was, I think, 4 or 5 starters returned, and they were guys with 2 and 3 years experience. So I don't know that you can look at any group, and obviously you can look at the Georgia group the last couple of years, and you can see you dominate on the offensive defensive lines of scrimmage. That's what you have to be able to do. And I think A&M has the potential to do that.
John, you mentioned Nick Fairley. Am I right? Didn't Texans fans want the Texans to draft him over J.J. Watt in that draft. Am I right about that?
There are a lot of Texans fans that were pulling for Nick Fairley. The Texans defense, if you remember back in 2010, the year before, that defense was god awful, and it was really not good on the inside. Now, Kareem Jackson struggled at corner, but he felt like, he's going to turn it around, or you hoped he could. You didn't know, in 2011 was kind of a weird draft because they were going to draft, but they were still in the lockout. So free agency came after. So, yeah, there were some people that were upset that they took Nick Fairley, or didn't take Nick Fairley, and took a big, scrawny-looking, seemingly, white kid with big hands and a buzz cut from Wisconsin. And thankfully, my parents, I was born in Wisconsin, got to Texas as soon as I could. They were always watching Wisconsin. My dad was always watching Wisconsin. And, of course, my dad sometimes forgetting that I do this for a living. Every time I would see him, he's like, "Hey, Wisconsin's got this kid Watt." I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, I know. I watch Wisconsin football too." And so I was a big fan of JJ as well. My only curiosity that year was, how are you going to use JJ? What's the best way? Because at Wisconsin, he was actually playing out on the edge. Well, he's 300 pounds. So in a 3-4, is he going to be your outside linebacker? Like, what are you going to do with him? And Wade Phillips figured it out, and so did Romeo Cornell. They figured out what to do with JJ. But, yeah, there were some people that really wanted Nick Fairley. And Nick, unfairly to Nick, he had injuries, and the injuries were tough.
Yep.
That he had to deal with. So it would have been a little bit better off if he could have gotten and stayed healthy. But yeah, 2010 Auburn, yeah, they can. I mean, even the year Joe Burrow and LSU won it, the offense was incredible, right? But look at all the talent that was in front of him on the offensive line. I mean, I think every one of those guys got drafted. And the defensive line, Rashard Lawrence was on that side. You had K'Lavon Chaisson, who was a first-round pick. You had the linebackers that were studs. You got to be good on the offensive defensive lines. That might even be first. You can I think have subpar talent at the skill positions, maybe, as long as your quarterback plays good. But you better be dominant on your offensive defensive lines. That's how I think things get turned around.
Talking about John Harris here, footballtakeover.com, Texans sideline reporter. Johnny, when it comes to the NFL schedule, am I right? It's been a couple years since I covered the pro game, but I feel like we know roughly when it's going to come out, but they don't give you a date, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, it's coming out on Thursday. Is that how it kind of rolls, or is it like known from well in advance?
What, the schedule?
Yeah.
So, the long story, but when I first got into coaching, I was coaching Episcopal High School in Jacksonville, Florida. I was coaching the junior high team, and I had a kid at quarterback. His dad worked for the Jaguars. He just come from the Packers, and he worked for the Jaguars. And he was only in Jacksonville for 2 years. He was my quarterback for 2 years. His name is Blake Jones. Fast forward 25 years, 28 years, whatever it is. Blake is one of the 5 people that put the schedule together.
What?
Yeah. So Blake's one of the 5 people that puts that schedule together. He deals with all the TV networks. He's moved up the ladder. I mean, he's incredible, great young man. And he told me last year, because I was messing with him. He was there for our game against I can't remember who it was. And I was kind of messing with him about, hey man, you could at least put the Cleveland Browns game before Deshaun returned, but no, you had to put it the week he returns. Thanks for that circus. And he kind of laughed and joked. And he made a comment about how they had the schedule all set, or at least moving in that direction. And then Tom Brady unretired. And that one singular move, he said, took everything they had been working on and changed everything. It changed everything. They had to go back to the beginning. And he said they go through more iterations of schedules than you could even imagine. And they've got so many things that they've got to try and consider when the schedule comes out, or when they, getting the schedule ready. But honestly, the schedule is not completely done. He's told me this multiple times. The schedule is not completely done till about when it gets announced. That's when the schedule is done. And it got announced draft weekend, I think. So this thing is not put together that far. They're working on, and David, the things that would blow your mind, like every team has to pick a week, or gives I think it's 1 or 2, maybe it's up to 2 weeks in which they can't play a particular game at a particular location. Like, for example, in 2018, I think it's 2018 or 2019, we had the Prime Minister of India coming to do a weekend at NRG Stadium. And that was planned well in advance. So our people had to tell the NFL, look, you can't put a home game on this particular week. And and then the NFL schedule makers have got to take all that into account. And then they got to make sure you don't have 3 road games in a row. Then they got to make sure you're not playing a Sunday road game after a Monday night road game. So they got all these things they've got to consider, and they go through all these iterations of schedules. And once they get it all done, that's when they announce that it's there. And so draft weekend, they announced, okay, it's going to be the 11th. And then there was kind of some pushback that Goodell wanted to look at it. And so it was finally confirmed this week that, okay, Roger's okay with it. We're going with it. It's a crazy, crazy process. And I remember doing my own schedule when I was coaching way back in the day. Scheduling the worst, the absolute nightmarish worst. So to do it for 32 teams and 2 continents, I mean, it's incredible what they do. So I'm just happy that we finally get it. And it's really exciting to kind of figure out. And it's been more exciting when you knew you're going to have some primetime games. I don't think we're going to get any this year. I don't know. It's my thought. But it's just kind of cool to know, hey, we're going to be in New York in December. We're going to be in Nashville in October. Just to know where you're going to be and kind of set your fall schedule is always kind of a cool thing.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Radio. Is Caleb Williams the clear-cut best quarterback in this upcoming NFL draft a year from now?
Yes, and he's been the best one. I would say he and Trevor Lawrence are the 2 best ones I've studied in probably 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I think everything you want in a quarterback you see in Caleb Williams, and you're gonna see this mentioned millions of times. Oh, he's Patrick Mahomes. He's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he plays like Patrick Mahomes, but there'll be 3 players at least that I know off the top of my head right now I will not comp anybody to, and that's J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, and Patrick Mahomes. Those guys are on a different level. I mean, they're special. So with Caleb Williams, though, he does everything you want a quarterback to do. I mean, he can do things on time and in rhythm. He can run like Justin Fields. He has deep ball accuracy. It's incredible. I actually did a scouting report on my YouTube channel at J Harris Football or JH Football Takeover. I just tweeted out a link to it, and then I did my top 32 draft prospects that just dropped this morning. So I like saying that. I feel like a rapper. Hey, man, I just dropped the YouTube. So that's out there. So you can go check it out on my YouTube page. But Caleb's special, man. I mean, he's ridiculously good. Now, he can balance no risk it, no biscuit with, hey, it's 1st and 10. If I got to take a loss, I'll take a loss. I kind of understand. He kind of balances out those 2 kind of situational awareness feelings. There are a couple quarterbacks in this draft that don't. One in particular, Washington, Michael Penix Jr., because he is all no risk it, no biscuit. He is firing that sucker deep all the time. Caleb's got a really good control of, hey, it's 1st and 10. Let me take this check down. This is 3rd and 6. I gotta maybe dive for this first down. He's got a really good situational awareness, which I think is special for great quarterbacks to have. But he's special. He's one of the. He's number 1 Harris 100, and I've only had, I think, one other quarterback that I can think of in the last 8 to 10 years I put at number 1, and that was Trevor Lawrence back in 21.
All right, I'm going to throw you a couple divisions, and I want you to tell me how competitive you think it'll be this year. And I'm going to start off with the NFC East. How competitive is the NFC East? Is it clear-cut Eagles? Is it Eagles-Cowboys? Break it down.
I think it's Eagles-Cowboys, but I think what makes the NFC East awesome is that all 4 of them. Now, Dallas is kind of the one that lags a little bit, but even they're on the edges more so. You get the hell beat out of you in the NFC East. Their defensive lines in the NFC East are unbelievable. I mean, they ragdolled our offensive line like throughout the game. Dexter Lawrence might be one of the top 5 players in the league with the Giants. So I don't think it's just Eagles-Cowboys, but I think the Giants still lack firepower on offense. And the Commanders, I just don't know that I trust Sam Howell just yet. But like I said earlier about offense, defensive lines, especially defensive line in this division, man, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Dexter Lawrence, the Leonard Williams for the Giants, Micah Parsons. There's more D-line talent in that division than there probably is throughout the entire NFL. It's ridiculous.
All right, John. So I was thinking to myself, the AFC South, how different it's going to look here over the next 12 to 16 months, let's say, because of all the new quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a veteran. You saw what the Texans did, what the Colts did. Just talk about how competitive the AFC South is going to be this year and in upcoming years.
Yeah, it's going to be competitive. It's just a matter of, is it going to be, 6-11 competitive? Is it going to be 5-12? Is it going to be three teams battling for 4-13 and one team at 12-5, with the Jaguars being that team? But look, we've seen the Jaguars at this point before. 2017, they were great. 2018, we beat them in the middle of the year, and they just cratered. It was rough to watch. Difference is they have Trevor Lawrence over Blake Bortles, and I think that's going to end up making a difference. But I think the other three teams, I think the difference becomes for them, which team can go from winning the finger painting, title in kindergarten to becoming Banksy or Van Gogh by the end of the year. Because some team has got to grow up fast, and they're going to have to do, presumably, the rookie quarterback. I hope that's us. And I think that we've got more talent than people want to give us credit for. But whatever team can grow with that young quarterback can be in this mix and be in this mix for a while. So, yeah, it's going to be competitive. I just hope it's more high-end art than it is finger painting in kindergarten, if you know what I mean.
Last one for you, Dan Campbell. We love him here on this show and obviously in this community. He said it's going to be a while before Hendon Hooker plays. So let's just talk about the Lions situation. A hot team. Our Richard Zane's a big Lions guy. Give us hope for the Lions.
Absolutely. I said last summer, even before Hard Knocks hit, I was talking with Mark Vandermeer and John McClain. We were in the studio, we're talking, and I said, I got a surprise team. I got the Detroit Lions. I said, I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs, but I think the Lions have got something brewing. They've got a lot of high-end talent. I think Dan Campbell is one hell of a leader. I think Brad Holmes is a really good GM. I think they work very well together. I think the Lions are a team to watch. I know, by the way, Ben Johnson might be one of the top 5 offensive. He's in the top 5 offensive coordinators in the league. Plus AG on the defensive side made a lot of adjustments defensively, and that defense got way better. I think it's one of the best coached teams in the league. I think it's got more talent than probably 65-70% of the league, and it's young talent, and Jared Goff's playing his guts out. So he's playing better than he ever has. They're in a groove. I think the Lions can be scary. You had Jahmyr Gibbs on one side and Jack Campbell on the other. I know people kind of like, what are they doing in the first round? Man, those two players make that team complete. They are nasty. I think the Lions are going to be a 10-win team at worst. I'm tempted to make them the NFC North champ today. Stamp it, put it down. Detroit Lions, NFC North champs. Richard, you got champs with the Lions. How about that?
He's going to cut that and put it all over social media.
Yeah,
Johnny,
do it.
What's on Football Takeover?
Like I said, man, I just finished a couple of YouTubes. You can check out my YouTube channel. Put the Film on, bro. That's obviously, what that's all about, David. So that's the title of my kind of X's and O's study. I did Caleb Williams study, so you can check that out. And last night I did my top 32 NFL draft prospects, number of guys from the SEC. No Aggies. There was one kind of not hitting his head on the ceiling, but I'm not quite there because even he said he did not have a great 2022. Layden Robinson. I think Layden can be a guy that should be considered in the top 32, but I don't know if his play was all the way there. And even he said that, so I'll trust him at that point. But I'll have my Harris 100 coming out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But those are a couple of things you can watch on YouTube and check me out, subscribe, and do all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to learn how the kids say it, David. But like, subscribe, and I think that's all you say with YouTube.
Share.
Watch, yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell a friend.
Yes. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Yeah.
Hey, Johnny.
Cut back, counter, reverse, bootleg. Yeah, okay.
I hope I remember to ask you about this, and just in the back of your mind, I think that list for A&M is going to grow because Bryce Foster, and I hope he stays here for a few years, but the difference he's going to make on that offensive line and what I think healthy Bryce Foster, a slimmer Ruben Fothery, and
I think he's the guy. You're right. I'm glad you brought that up. He's definitely a guy that I felt like last year, and I don't want to – I mean, he's a Richmond, Texas homeboy. I wanted to see more from him last year. I think he's got first-round ability, size, everything about him is first round, except his play didn't match up last year. But you're absolutely right. I think he can be a guy that gets in that mix for sure. But if he can just get, like you said it, get slimmer. I think that's something Kenyon Green learned here. He had to get his body in better shape. So if Ruben's got that, I think he's definitely, and that's, again, going back to our conversation about the offensive line. Bryce Foster, Layden Robinson, Ruben, those three guys, that's not even a starting point. Those are three granite, 7 blocks of granite up front that you've got to have to start. But health, and then being healthy and taking your play up to a higher level. Those two things have got to happen for those guys. But you're right on, D.
All right, Harris. All right, I never call you Harris. I call you Johnny, the professor.
All right.
Put the film on,
whatever.
bro. We'll talk to you soon.
Just keep calling. That's all I care about.
You know it, my man.
All right, man. Love you.
Love you,
all
man.
Right, bye.
Family. Yeah, we say love because we're like brothers. Knowing a guy for that as long as I have, he's family. Right now, we're talking Milliken Reserve, farm-to-table community in College Station. You got homes, you got trails, you got wide open spaces, and their mission is to build a healthy community around nature. They're dedicated to the conservation of a healthy community, respect for that native landscape and wildlife, and they've got space. I love me some space. 2,600 acres of open space, farms, trails, and homes. They're an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that includes walking, equestrian paths, creeks and ponds, and gathering areas. They're committed to maintaining and restoring a very natural habitat. It is a wonderful area to get your mind right, All this negativity in the world we're talking about. People go to Milliken Reserve and just enjoy nature, aren't tweeting away. They're not getting mad at their significant others. They're just like enjoying time together. That outside time together, the walks, the hikes, the flying of the kites makes such a difference for a healthy and happy family. I highly recommend you go check it out. And if you want to live there, the houses are amazing. The website is millikenreserve.com. Millikenreserve.com. Go check it out and then go enjoy nature there at Milliken Reserve.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. First Methodist Church in Bryan invites you to a special event with Master Potter Rachel Norris. Hear Rachel's personal testimony and see a demo of how a potter works with clay this Friday at 6:30 p.m. Bryan ISD's 22nd Anniversary Art Fest is this Saturday at Bryan High's Silver Campus Cafeteria from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come celebrate creativity and the visual arts. Property owners can now schedule an appointment for an informal review with the Brazos Central Appraisal District. Formal hearings begin May 16th. Contact the BCAD office at 979-774-4100. Find out more about current and upcoming events and exhibitions at the University Art Galleries in the Memorial Student Center. Go online to uart.tmu.edu. You can hear Aggie baseball on the Zone, Aggie softball on Gospel 97.3 FM, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Hi, this is Kelly Adams with Girard Construction, custom home builders for the Brazos Valley since 2002. We love to help our clients take their vision and build it into reality. Our local team is hands-on and will work with you step by step, from planning and budgeting to choosing finishes and handing you the keys. All of our subcontractors are local, and most have been with us for 10 years or more. At Girard Construction, we don't just build homes, we build relationships. Let's build your dream home together. Visit us at girard-construction.com.
At ASCO Equipment, we don't have offices. We have service and support centers because we're in business to do two things: serve and support our customers and do it better than anybody else. It's why we're on it with boots on the ground, not on the desk. We're on it with Case Construction Equipment. Together, we're hardworking partners who are willing to get their hands dirty to help you win. Case Equipment is practical and intuitive. Hardcore, versatile machines we're proud to serve and support. At ASCO, we're on it. In Bryan at 1976 North Earl Rudder Freeway.
Howdy, this is Father Brian Eilers inviting you to the 48th Annual St. Joseph Catholic Church Parish Festival, Sunday, May 14th at the Brazos County Expo Center. Doors open at 11 and admission is free. Enjoy delicious barbecue, kolaches, and all kinds of desserts. There'll be tons of games for the kids, silent and live auctions. Special thanks to our corporate sponsor, Lone Star Roof Systems. For more info, visit stjosephbcs.org, celebrating 150 years serving the Brazos Valley. St. Joseph Catholic Church, many cultures, one faith.
Each Tuesday at 1:55, I'm joined inside the Charles Schwab studio by April Plemons of Long Way Home Adoptables. We get to meet our mascot of the week, a dog, a cat, an animal looking for a permanent home. The mascot of the week on the Louis Bellina Show is brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. Have you ever wondered what goes into training a service dog? Well, you can find out inside their service dog group classes. Sign up now. Get more information at waggypetzone.com.
Junior Mafia.
TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. On the A&B text line, David in Houston sent in a little while ago. What's our record on the road this season? That's where Jimbo has struggled the most outside of 2020. It's likely the difference maker for 2023. Nick, I don't know if we have that schedule handy, but put it up there so we can kind of look at it.
We'll get it here in a second.
So I think they're going to beat Miami, right? But I don't like doing like predictions, at least right now, because they should be better, and they should be significantly better. That's where I'm at with this team, and I think Miami is going to be better, but I don't think they're going to be that much better. So at Miami, they should win that game. It's going to be tough. They should win that game. At Tennessee, hardest game on the road. No, Tennessee or LSU, right? Because it depends what Tennessee team you get. Those road games at Ole Miss, bro, you got to beat Ole Miss. Like, I don't care if that game is played in Kazakhstan, New York City, at Ole Miss, at Kyle Field. It's at Ole Miss this year. You've got to win that game. You've got to shut up that little man. While I find him widely entertaining, I don't like the negative energy he sends towards A&M and the amount of time he spends talking about them. You got to go and destroy them. Not forget that he cursed at Bryce Anderson on the field. So you got to win that game. So you got that. You got the Ole Miss and at LSU. LSU has been so hard to win at, even when you think you're going to win. Because I thought they were going to win in 2021. I felt it. After that second Michael Clemens sack, I was like, it's over in my head. I didn't say it out loud. I was on the sidelines thinking, it's over, baby. We're going to win, have a 9-win season, go to a cool bowl game in Florida. That's what I was thinking. And they snatched it from me. But yet, when you look at those road games, Arkansas, it is what it is. It's a neutral site game. But the rest, Tennessee's hard to win at. Unfortunately, Ole Miss has been hard. And LSU's hard. What's their record? I don't know. Tennessee, I think LSU is going to be pretty much what they were last year, but I don't know if that means they win the SEC West. I think they're that same caliber of team. They got some questions to figure out on defense, and we'll ask Mike Scarborough about them here in a minute. But beyond that, you're right. Those road games, don't lose a dumb game and win most of your road games. You're having that kind of season we're talking about. All right, we're going to hit a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk with Mike Scarborough, who covers LSU, get our LSU spring preview as we're almost entering the summer, and then we'll have to do a summer preview. But we'll talk to Mike Scarborough next on TexAgs Radio.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. When we get tired, we play harder.
It's time. Oh, here we go! Let's go! Let's go! I've got a long big way to go.
Tickets are on sale now for the Troubadour Festival at Aggie Park on Saturday, May 20th. Come experience food samples from 34 of the best barbecue joints in Texas and see a country music lineup featuring Midland, Shane Smith and the Saints, Charlie Robeson, Uncle Lucius, Treaty Oak Revival, and more. Get your tickets now at troubadourfestival.com. That's troubadourfestival.com. We'll see y'all at Aggie Park.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Zwerneman Flooring, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Specs Wines, Spirits, and Finer Foods, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Mike Tannenbaum. Packers were 8-9 and lost Aaron Rodgers. Better, worse, or the same this year?
I'm going to say better. I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. I think he's actually gotten better. And then you look at the draft, they got a number of weapons, from Musgrave to Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, another tight end. And now they have those two young receivers, Christian Watson, who was a second-round pick a year ago, and Romeo Doubs, a fourth-round pick. They're going to be better. So I think they can make the playoffs and actually be better than they were a year ago.
I think it's a better football team. Mike's right. I think when you add some of the players that they've gotten, but not only that, you're not asking Jordan Love to win the football game for you. You're not asking him to do the same things that you may have asked Aaron Rodgers to do. You just don't want him to lose the game at this stage of his career. And I think they can run the football, they can dink and dunk and play defense solid and sound. That defensive unit got better toward the end of the season last year.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on the Zone.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill. I'm ready. It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down.
Hello, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, we're doing our spring/summer preview of all the programs A&M's going to be playing. Let's talk to my buddy Mike Scarborough. I've known him a long, long time. TigerBait.com, owner and publisher. What's up, man? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. It's spring evaluation period, but we're getting a steady dose of rain out here in South Louisiana, and it's been moving around a lot of our practice schedule and who we're going out to see.
Yeah, man. It's crazy weather out here as well. Let's get into LSU. Why should they be favored to repeat and win the West again?
I tell you, the only thing that's holding me back right now, and last year I was at 8-4 and maybe a little bit in the 7-5 range. I went 8-4. I think right now I'm probably between 10-2 or 11-1 with this upcoming football team. And I think the only thing that's going to hinge on me going all the way to 11-1 is getting some of those injured guys. We start to see them one by one getting checked off and being healthy to go in August. I think the offensive line, I think the running back room, once everybody's there and healthy, we're going to see what happens with Logan Diggs in the transfer portal, if that's going to be an addition or not. Battle a lot of people for him. I think the quarterback situation, the wide receiver room. I think probably the biggest question mark on this football team is going to be the cornerbacks and maybe a little bit of safety, but I think they've got some pretty good answers there. But they're not going to be far off from DBU coming back with what they've got newcomers coming in the fold.
I do this exercise with all the programs. I started with A&M, those 50-50 games, those games that come down to the wire. LSU was very successful in those last year. A&M on the bad side of it for the most part, although they figured things out at the very last game. Not that I have to remind you about that. But
yeah,
why the 50-50 game? Because like the Alabama, all these games that really came down to the wire. The Florida State game to start off the season could be another one of those 50-50 games.
Yeah, I was there at in the stand in the back of the end zone in the Florida State game, and I think that's going to be a pivotal game again this year. They open up another only game on a Sunday night, Memorial Weekend in Orlando this time. I think that's a pivotal game. Yeah, yes, it's non-conference, but I think that sets the table the rest of the way when you start looking at, what was amazing about last year. It wasn't just the 50-50 games, and obviously Florida had issues, Auburn had issues. And certainly went to Texas A&M and lost that game. But all those games were on the road. And look, it's now those guys all come to Baton Rouge. And so I think LSU is going to be favored in every game on the schedule except Tuscaloosa. And we'll see what happens there. I don't know that LSU, once the media picks in July, the winners of the East and the West, I think it's still going to be Alabama. I think that's the way you do it every year. But I think LSU is going to be your strong number 2, and then we'll see how it plays out the rest of the way. If they stay healthy, and I agree with something Brian Kelly said at the post-spring game press conference, that they cannot withstand 2 or 3 key injuries, that the program isn't there yet. So to me, that's like a lot of programs right now. But if you keep your Will Campbells and your Emory Joneses and the like, your Harold Perkins and all those guys are healthy, I think this team could do some fantastic things, just because of when you look around the West, who all has question marks. Obviously you look at Georgia and their favorable schedule. I've never seen a schedule like that in my life where, usually if you have an SEC schedule, there's some serious bumps, but I've never seen one laid out so well for them to possibly win 3 in a row.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So you mentioned question marks. What are your question marks about Bama? What are your question marks about A&M? I feel like when we're talking about LSU, those are the 3 teams that to me come to mind.
Yeah, I think the number of I'm not seeing as many difference makers at Alabama that they typically have, and obviously they have a big question mark at quarterback. That's they got a lot of people, Alabama fans, nervous about that, and I wonder if Nick Saban's staff right now is as good as it used to be. I think, over the years he's been able to withstand his staff getting pilfered and moving on to bigger positions elsewhere. I don't know that he's replaced a lot of his guys with equal or better talent.
And what about A&M? Your question marks there?
I just wonder how the culture is, and I find it dubious, the Petrino Jimbo Fisher relationship. I'm not a big fan of Petrino's, and I just think that could go sour in a hurry.
It could, but if it goes positively, it could go real positive, and that's what A&M fans are banking on. Jaden Daniels, obviously he's the starting quarterback, but is there a short leash there with Garrett Nussmeier? Is there potentially? I mean, I think last year part of the reason too, the offensive line was not very good. If the offensive line is better, does he give them a different potential look at some point?
I don't know that the leash is shorter. I have a hard time believing that it is. What was amazing about last season was how durable Jaden Daniels proved to be when he was a lot lighter than he is now. Now, does the weight make him even more durable? I think maybe it's a little bit of luck that he stayed as healthy as he did until the end of the year. I think if you're LSU, you want to be able to get Nussmeier in some real game experiences, and to get a lot and to know what you have going into 2024. You don't want a carbon copy of last year where the only time you see him is in cleanup to hand off the ball in the last couple of series of a game that's LSU's up 3 or 4 scores at a minimum. You want to be able to get him in there and have him play a bit against some SEC competition if you can, just so you have an idea of what you're actually working with and what your outlook is for the following year. But I think they're very confident in Garrett, and like Brian Kelly says, he thinks he could start at a lot of schools in the SEC. We'll see. But to me, he still needs to clean up his attempts to interception ratio. The dime store Brett Favre routine that he likes to do, that gunslinger, can get him into some trouble. He probably should have had 1 or 2 more picks than he did in the SEC championship game. But at that game there where he had the second half that he did is what I think might have prevented him from getting in the portal. And so it's amazing how this can flip around, and then it ends up being Walker Howard that gets in the portal, and now he's at Ole Miss. And he has a chance at being the number 2 guy there.
How does the wide receiver group look overall?
I think it's fantastic. I think, and then you've got a couple of big time freshmen, Shelton Sampson and Kai Preen coming in. Add in Aaron Anderson from Alabama, who we didn't get to see in the spring. Another one of those guys. I was so high on him out of high school, out of Carr. I told LSU fans when he decommitted after Orgeron got fired and ended up committing to Alabama that was one that they should probably be sick about. And to get him to come back with all of his eligibility is a big time credit to Frank Wilson. And I think where he's really going to upgrade things for LSU is in the return game, kickoff, punt returns. But Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, I think Chris Hilton, they're still hoping can do some big things. Kyron Lacey had a nice spring game, and on and on. It's a super deep group and very talented. I really like Kyle Parker out of Texas. I thought he had a fantastic spring as a true freshman midterm enrollee. And Jalen Brown from Miami. I think there's one or two freshmen that could even see some playing time. And then a guy that was hurt a lot last year that was redshirted was Landon Ibieta. And they're extremely rich at that position.
Talking to Mike Scarborough here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner Schultz. Let's get back to the offensive line because I think they allowed 45 sacks, if my memory serves correct. And I think Jaden Daniels really was just mobile, so it could have been much more. You think they're going to be better. Why should the line be better?
I just think the ends, both your tackles, and then we'll see what happens with Lance Hurd coming in. Does he have the same trajectory as Emory Jones and Will Campbell last year? Can he come in and be a right tackle and then move Emory Jones inside to guard his natural position? I just think you have two guys there that are, freshman All-Americans and all SEC freshman team guys, and Will Campbell and Emory Jones. I think you've got some solutions at center. You've got some depth at guard. I agree with a lot of people that believe that this is one of the top 2 or 3 offensive line units in the nation and possibly the best in the SEC.
How about the secondary? Some changes there.
That's to me, that's the worry, that position there. And, obviously you guys know all about Denver Harris. I don't know that he differentiated himself this spring. Let's see how things work out. I don't know if he's in the doghouse or what his status is right now, but not a whole lot of name dropping with him this spring. But you've got Zy Alexander and Deuce Chestnut, who another guy we didn't get to see in the spring, coming off of injury. They've got a lot of bodies there, which is what they had last year, and they made it work. But that one is still remains to be seen how good that cornerback unit could be. Is it a deal where they're moving guys in and out to find the right guy, and maybe it takes several weeks into the season? I hope Brian Kelly certainly hopes not. But that to me is the biggest question mark is the cornerbacks.
You mentioned Denver Harris, and you said there's not a lot of stuff out there. Is that because Brian Kelly doesn't talk about younger players potentially, or is that because there just isn't anything out there? And we understood the culture, it didn't fit at A&M, and we know what kind of talent he is. Is there any whispers about that, or is it just he hasn't really shown anything?
Look, you do what you do at A&M, but what caused him to that's not going to work anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think he's probably got a list of things that he needs to prove to Kelly and his staff, and before they start moving him up and giving him an opportunity. But look, there's no denying he's a talent, but and with the talent and the 5-star rating and everything that you think he should be, I think with the question marks at that position, it should be his for the taking. And we didn't see him overtake anybody or make that move. Not to say that he's not going to, or maybe they're trying to soft shoe it. I will say this in fairness to him, because LSU was so thin last spring and part of fall camp, we were getting full practices, the media.
Mm-hmm.
They're letting us in for the full time. We were only getting 3 to 4 periods throughout this spring. So we were seeing the same reps and so forth. So we didn't get to see any live scrimmaging. We didn't get to see any situational work. The only thing that we saw in that regard was a spring game. So is he a little bit further along than I think he is? It could be possible. But I usually go by Brian Kelly, and he's pretty transparent. You ask him a question, he doesn't dodge, he doesn't play games. And I just thought it was a little odd that Denver Harris didn't get mentioned a bit more than he did.
So outside of the Bama game, just kind of look at that schedule. What's the pivotal point of the season? Florida State is a difficult start, but is there a point of the season will tell you if it's going towards that SEC West or championship or not?
I mean, look, the schedule obviously moves around, and when you look at it, I think it all starts with that Florida State. That's going to tell you the because you look at the rest of the way in September, you got Grambling, Mississippi State, Arkansas, at Ole Miss, at Missouri. When LSU faced Ole Miss last year, LSU was still in that realm where, what kind of bowl they're going to get to, and then they laid the wood to them in that second half. Auburn's got a lot of issues. I really think if you get past Florida State, you got Arkansas and Baton Rouge. You take care of Florida State. I don't know that you get tested until Alabama, and then November is extremely tough. Then you go to Alabama, Florida at home, Georgia State, and then last game Texas A&M again. And that will certainly be a game that they're going to be penciling in after what happened last year. But I think Florida State's a game they're penciling in after last year because if you remember, Florida State scheduled a week 0 game. LSU was a new staff trying to find their way, special teams issues. That was a game that they really feel that they gifted to the Seminoles. And I think they're ready to really show them what LSU's about in that one. But I think the schedule just really sets up for LSU, and which is typical in an odd year. That's always been the case. When you look in LSU's history, the odd years is when LSU has won national championships. I'm not saying that that's going to be the trajectory of this team, but it's always been because you get Auburn, Florida, and Texas A&M at home in odd years.
Mike, great stuff, my friend. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
Talk to you. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. All right, right now I want you guys to live life to the fullest. Actually, not just right now. All the time, live life to the fullest. Make it your kind of life where you can go in the backyard, throw the ball, you can pick up your kids, you can pick up your grandkids. You don't want to have joint pain. Joint pain sucks. Sorry, probably shouldn't use that word, but it's the fact. It's not a good thing. QC Kinetics is in the business of giving your life back, guys. That's what they want to do. That quality of life back, providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So we're not talking about surgery. No. If your joint pain's in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, QC Kinetics is going to use concentrates that impact these treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. And the beauty is you walk into the office and you walk right out. And then there's no surgery, there's no downtime. Patients are raving about the results. So live life to the fullest. Go pick up the ball, throw it around. Go run a little, post route. Don't go too fast. You don't pull a hamstring. But the joint pain will be better with our friends there at QC Kinetics. 979-452-6000. Call them up for that free consultation. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Brazos County A&M Club is hosting Coaches Night with Jimbo Fisher, among other A&M coaches, on Tuesday, May 16th at Legends Event Center. More information is online at bcamc.org. Join thousands of people across the globe in a mission to bring life-changing clean water and fullness of life to children in communities around the world. Register for the World Vision Global 6K for Water at worldvision6k.org. Join BCS Clean Water Tribe and walk from anywhere on Saturday, May 20th. The Mental Health First Aid Program teaches participants how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a possible mental health challenge or substance misuse, de-escalate situations, listen non-judgmentally, and connect people to resources. This free course is offered each month at the Brazos County Health District. Every Tuesday at 1:55, join Louis Bellina for the Mascot of the Week with Long Way Home Adoptables, brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
When we started Intercon in early 1991, we were well aware that we would be competing with some companies that use unscrupulous techniques to make a quick sale, such as bait and switch, or 40% off if you commit today, or misleading, incomplete quotes. Intercon's practice is to be completely honest and encourage prospective customers to talk to our former customers. We've encouraged customers to get multiple quotes. We are confident and proud of our value proposition for windows, glass, and solar screens. We never want anyone to rush into a decision they will regret in the future. Just remember, warranties are only as good as the people who provide them and are servicing the area when situations arise. This is our home and only marketplace, and we will protect our home turf. You've probably heard the saying, the buck stop here, and that is with me, Brad Beard, president and co-owner of Intercon LLC.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Spring is in full swing at Big Shots Golf. Come play at Big Shots Golf for only $10 a person during the week. That's right, only $10 a person per hour, and players 5 and 6 are free. Tee it up in our climate-controlled tee boxes and enjoy virtual golf games and next-level menu items. For a limited time, we are serving up a $5 burger and $2 drafts all day, Tuesday through Thursday. So get your game on, and we'll see you at Big Shots Golf Aggieland. Visit BigShotsGolf.com for more info.
You can hear Houston Astros baseball all season, all postseason long on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. All season long, Houston Astros baseball on the Zone and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer.
I get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Walker in Houston says, did an LSU Tiger analyst just question our culture? Wow. I forget how he phrased it, Nick. I don't know if you remember, but he was asking about the culture here. And look, I understand why people would say that after how last season played out with some of the issues, but those guys have moved on. His hesitation to talk about Denver Harris at LSU, I don't know if it speaks volumes. I don't know. Interesting, right? Interesting that that's a position of need and he hasn't, solidified at least a talking point there. I think that's interesting. Also, Chris Marshall being out of favor at Ole Miss already, another talking point. So I'd say all that to say, I think A&M fixed their culture. I don't expect outsiders to know that, but we know. And again, all of this will have to play out over the next year. But some of the issues that were in that locker room, perceived issues, proven issues, are no longer there. They are now other people's problems or, fixing, right? It didn't work out for Chris Marshall at Ole Miss. It'll work out somewhere else. A guy with that talent will probably get another look somewhere. Maybe he'll have to go to different level of school, but a guy with that kind of talent, but you see a trend there. Denver Harris, guy's a superb talent. I expect him to get on the field. And if he doesn't, I'd be interested to see why not, especially if that's a position of need. Ag Engineering 12 sent me a tweet a little while ago. Apparently, Brett McMurphy, let's see if I can find it because it's now hidden, about the Big Ten. Brett McMurphy, I should say, tweets out Big Ten strongly considering removing its requirement for league teams to play a Power 5 non-conference team annually starting in 2024, which is also the same year that USC and UCLA joined the Big Ten in 2024, same year of the expanded playoffs. Interesting. When Billy Lucci's in studio, we may tackle that topic. Interesting. That's what I'll say there. Because Big Ten's trying to maneuver, trying to be the big dog. It's going to be a while, buddy. Just look at history. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, Ryan Broniger will be here in studio. I believe Billy will be here at some point during the 10 o'clock hour. I know he will be. We'll have that with your text messages on the A&B text line and more. It's TexAgs Radio.
It's Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Paul, I tell you, the way to improve some of these callers, quit giving out the number. Just give out alphabet. Make them figure the damn numbers out.
That's a really good idea. So you're saying you think I'm making it too easy?
Absolutely. Yeah, all you got to do is listen to the calls.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fund Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
The NLS Braille and Talking Book program gives patrons with visual or physical disabilities the freedom to read their way.
If you want to read in electronic braille, you can. If you want to read on your phone, you can. If you want to read in heart print, you can.
Everybody can read the way they want to read using this program.
For more information about the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped Library of Congress, visit loc.gov/thatallmayread.
Your home for Aggie baseball. From the first game to the last game, Homer Road is Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus online at radioaggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
Are you ready?
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. More than 2 years since Winter Storm Uri froze water lines that broke in the city of Bryan's Phillips Event Center, the $8 million restoration project continues. The latest hurdle is replacing the roof so it can handle new air conditioning equipment. The Bryan City Council at its meeting unanimously approved without discussion a $105,000 change order. Financing more than $37 million of Brazos County roads and building projects was approved yesterday by county commissioners. Financial advisor Dennis Whaley said borrowing the money at 3.5% interest was the result of an improved bond rating.
Strong management with good financial policies and practices, and consistently positive operating performance.
More than $9 million in certificates of obligation will finance renovations at the courthouse, the county administration building, the former Bryan ISD administration building, and the county's 911 and emergency operations center. Almost $28 million in bonds will pay for road and bridge improvements. Members of the Texas House Higher Education Committee were told this week about the negative impact of a Senate bill that would eliminate tenure for professors at public universities. Texas A&M professor Trevor Hale is also president of the Texas Council of Faculty Senates.
We cannot hire rock star faculty at Texas A&M right now. People are turning us down.
After more than 3 hours of testimony, SB 18 was left pending in the House committee. For the 21st time, the Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce has a local delegation visiting federal officials in Washington, D.C.
We have really a great reputation in that. The Texas Association of Business calls us one of the top 3 chambers in the state on legislative affairs.
Chamber Community Liaison Royce Hickman, who started the trips when he was the organization's president, thanked Congressman Michael McCall for lining up visits at the U.S. Capitol. Hickman says the chamber's legislative package includes economic development, fiscal responsibility, healthcare, education, and transportation issues specific to the Brazos Valley. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Dr. Rick here. Another sign you're becoming your parents is getting particular about details that don't matter.
The craziest thing happened when we got tacos the other day. Was it Wednesday or Thursday we got tacos? I know it wasn't Tuesday because that's when I went to my hairdresser. Shoot, what day was it?
See how we all lost interest there?
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I've been to Caprock on several occasions, one of them resulting in being admitted into the hospital. It was a very comforting experience to know that I could get such individualized care. The doctors were very comforting. The nurses are skilled in what they need to do. I would definitely recommend Caprock to friends and family.
Caprock Health. Experience the Caprock difference.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Aggie baseball put up 11 runs in 7 innings last night to run-roll UT Rio Grande Valley at Bluebell Park. The team had 9 stolen bases, the most in a single game since 2006. Justin Lampkin got the victory, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 7 with no walks in 5 1/3 innings. The win was the first by an Aggie starting pitcher since March 11th, snapping the